If you stopped working tomorrow, how long would you last before money started controlling every decision you make? Why do some people earn a lot of money yet lie awake at night worrying about bills, while others with less income feel calm and in control? Have you ever asked yourself whether your money is truly working for you, or if you're spending your entire life trying to keep up with it? And what if the financial anxiety you feel isn't because you earn too little, but because no one ever taught you how to direct money the right way? There is a quiet paradox happening in many people's lives. The more money they earn, the more financially anxious they become. Not because they are poor, but because they don't truly understand what is happening to their money. You may have felt this before. Your income increases, your situation improves, yet instead of relief, the pressure grows. Months pass faster, money comes in and disappears just as quickly, and you can't quite explain how. You're not reckless, you're not irresponsible, and yet, somehow, your money is gone before it can serve anything meaningful. The real danger isn't earning too little. The real danger is not knowing where your money is going. Most people are taught how to make money, but almost no one is taught how to keep it, guide it, and make it work for their future. Without a system, money follows momentum, emotions, habits, social pressure, and small repeated decisions that quietly shape your life. This is why some high earners live with constant financial stress, while others with modest income feel calm and in control. The difference is not the number on the paycheck. It's the moment money reaches your hands and what you decide to do with it next. Welcome to Financial Awakening. This channel is not about getting rich fast. It's about waking up from the financial illusions that have kept so many people stuck without realizing it. In this video, you won't hear cliches like, stop buying coffee, or, just work harder. Instead, you'll confront an uncomfortable but necessary truth. Without a clear money system, no amount of income will ever stay with you. If this resonates with you, subscribe to Financial Awakening to support us in creating more thoughtful, honest, and long-term valuable content. Before we continue, pause for a moment and reflect. You don't need to answer immediately, but take this question with you to the end of the video, and share your answer in the comments. What do you think is the main reason people still feel broke even as their income keeps increasing? There is a truth few people are willing to admit. Most of us don't lose money because we are poor, but because we spend without awareness. Every day, money leaves your account not through one big decision, but through small repeated choices. You don't feel the pain immediately, but at the end of the month, the result is always familiar. The money is gone, and you're not sure what it actually gave you in return. The 75% spending limit is not meant to punish you. It exists to wake you up. Without a clear boundary, spending will always expand to fill whatever income allows. As income rises, lifestyle quietly follows, and enough always stays just out of reach. The real danger isn't spending too much. It's spending without understanding the trade-off. When you buy something expensive, the excitement fades quickly. What remains is an object that feels ordinary, while the money you gave up is permanently gone, locked into something that no longer delivers equal value. The 75% rule forces uncomfortable but necessary questions. Am I paying for real value, or for a temporary emotional high? Is there a cheaper option that still meets my needs? Am I buying because I need it, or because I'm afraid of falling behind others? People who build lasting wealth rarely spend money to prove anything. They don't need the newest car, the biggest purchase, or the most luxurious experience to feel successful. They understand that every dollar spent today quietly removes a piece of tomorrow. That's why they are careful with big expenses. Not out of fear, but out of long-term awareness. This limit also gives you something many people never experience: guilt-free spending. When you know you are within a safe boundary, you can spend on what truly adds value to your life, instead of constantly feeling anxious after every purchase. And if you can live well on 60% or 65% of your income, the remaining gap is not money meant to be wasted. It is the space where control returns. Not by earning more, but by finally stopping money from drifting away without purpose. There is a fear many people carry quietly every day. Even if they never talk about it, one small disruption could unravel their entire life. Not because they are weak, but because they have no buffer when things go wrong. You might manage your spending well and earn consistently. But without an emergency fund, you are still standing on very thin ground. An accident, a job loss, a medical issue, or a sudden expense can push you into panic. And in panic, people make the worst financial decisions. The 10% buffer is not money meant to make you rich. It exists to preserve your ability to choose. Without it, you are forced to accept bad terms just to survive. You can't pause. You can't say no. You can't wait for a better option. Money stops serving you and starts controlling you. Many people misunderstand saving. They believe holding more and more cash is always safer. In reality, an emergency fund has one purpose only: to buy time when a crisis hits. Nothing more, nothing less. Once it's sufficient, continuing to pile money into it doesn't increase safety. It simply leaves money idle and slowly eroding in value. The size of this buffer doesn't need to be complicated. It's based on your real living expenses, not an abstract number. When you can sustain your life for several months without income, something shifts internally. You gain calm. That calm is invisible, but powerful. It allows you to think clearly, negotiate better, and avoid decisions driven purely by fear. It becomes the foundation for every smart financial move that follows. The most important discipline is how you use this fund. It is not for rewards, not for emotional relief, and not for convenience. Each time you break this rule, you teach yourself that future safety can be traded for temporary comfort. When your buffer is built correctly, you won't feel rich overnight, but you will feel grounded. And in the world of money, stability always comes before growth. There is a hard truth many people avoid, but ignoring it comes at the cost of an entire lifetime. Working hard does not guarantee financial freedom. Countless people do everything society asks of them. They study seriously, work consistently, save carefully, and yet one day they realize they are still tightly bound to a job, a paycheck, and someone else's schedule. The deepest fear isn't having no money. It's having no choice, not being able to rest, not being able to leave a toxic job, not being able to slow down. And the reason this fear exists is simple. All of your income depends on your continued labor. The 15% investment rule is not about getting rich fast. It's about escaping this trap. It's the first step towards separating your life from the need to constantly show up, perform, and trade time for money. When you invest, you begin building something that can work even when you don't. Many people delay investing because they believe they don't earn enough, don't know enough, or aren't ready yet. The truth is, every year you don't invest is another year of dependency. No one is asking you to become an expert or beat the market. What matters is giving your money the opportunity to grow over time. Investment tools built for the masses are not glamorous, but they are durable. The issue isn't finding a magical asset. It's whether you allow your money to participate in growth at all. Money sitting idle, even in an account labeled investment, is still inactive capital. What's most painful is that many people do almost everything right, except one thing. They never let their money work for them. They wait to feel more stable, more knowledgeable, more prepared, but time doesn't wait. Each year without investing is a year of lost compounding, the most powerful force ordinary people can access. Investing is not an act of ambition. It's an act of responsibility toward your future self. When you commit 15% to building assets, you send a clear message forward in time. Life is not only about surviving, but about having the freedom to choose how you live. There is a quiet tragedy many people never name. They are not poor, but they never become truly wealthy either. They live in between, enough to survive, enough to manage, never enough to stop, choose, or live life on their own terms. What keeps this tragedy alive is not a lack of opportunity, but a lack of consistency. Most people change for a short time and then quit. They feel motivated at the beginning, but when results don't appear quickly, they return to old habits. Year after year, they stay in the same place, only older and more exhausted. Sustainable wealth doesn't come from rare big decisions. It comes from small choices repeated long enough. The 15th of October 75 system doesn't promise miracles, but it creates a powerful advantage. It removes chaos from your financial life. When money follows a clear structure, you no longer need to overthink every month. You simply repeat. At first, this repetition feels boring. There is no excitement, no quick success story. But this boredom is a signal you are doing something right. Financial freedom is not built on emotion. It is built on quiet discipline. One day, you begin to notice subtle changes. Small disruptions no longer scare you. Difficult decisions don't trigger panic. You gain mental space to think long-term. And this doesn't happen because you earn more, but because you have taken control of how money operates in your life. The most important realization is this: doing nothing is also a choice. Delaying is a decision, and the cost of not changing is often far greater than the cost of starting early. Even if you start small, you don't need to be perfect. You only need to begin seriously enough to stop deceiving yourself for another year. When you choose to live by a clear system, you give your future self a different chance. A life not defined solely by survival, but by the freedom to choose. In the end, wealth is not a number in an account. It is the feeling that you are moving in the right direction. And that time is finally working with you, not against you. Looking back at everything we've explored, one truth becomes clear. Money never betrays us. We simply failed to give it a clear direction. The financial anxiety so many people feel doesn't come from earning too little, but from money being constantly pulled by emotions, habits, and unstructured decisions. Without a system, money becomes a source of stress. With a system, it becomes a tool. The deepest lesson here isn't the percentages themselves, but the mindset behind them. It's about setting boundaries for spending, building a buffer against risk, and patiently creating assets for the future. These actions don't create instant excitement, but they offer something far more valuable: calm, choice, and the confidence that you're moving in the right direction. Applying this to your life today doesn't require perfection. Start by observing your cash flow for a month. Define clear limits for spending, and commit a fixed portion towards safety and the future. Consistency matters more than intensity. Before we end, I'd love to hear from you. What do you think is the hardest part about changing how you manage money? Please leave your answer in the comments so others can learn from your perspective. If you found this valuable, subscribe to Financial Awakening to support us in creating more thoughtful and meaningful content in the future.